Hello, friends. Alright, so I am going to be reviewing my match versus Ali and talking a little bit about that. So let's go into it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to hide the outcome of that match because clicking on it's going to show you what happened a little bit. So let's start here.
Evildoers beware! Star Soldier Eerie is here!
You're welcome to try me. Come on, then.
Okay, so let's start by talking about mistake number one. Mistake number one here is actually in how we set up our bans. So the format for this tournament is you get 3 fighters, you ban one of your opponents. Let me turn this down just a little bit. Here we go. So you ban one of your opponent's fighters from being able to be played originally, and then if you lose, that fighter unlocks. So my team is Eerie, Evil Hikaru, and Magdalena. Ali's team is Luke, Schecter, and Carolyn. I don't have a whole bunch of experience playing either as or against Carolyn, but she has no range, and she essentially just has like whip as being in range, has Quicksilver for prio, and I was thinking, for some reason, I got it in my head that Ari versus Carolyn was a bad match for Carolyn. Now I know what Ali's banning strategy is because I've asked her and she's told me. Her banning strategy is figure out what the worst matchup for her is, ban that fighter, and play the other fighter game 1. So I had gone into this thinking Eerie versus Carolyn was worse than the other bad matchup, which I knew, which was Maggie versus Luke. Maggie versus Luke is definitely something I feel comfortable with, but I figured that Eerie versus Carolyn would be, just based on looking at it, would be a harder matchup. I don't think that's necessarily true, and I think I definitely got punished for that during our ban choices. So I ended up banning Carolyn, thinking that she was going to ban Eerie. That ended up being wrong. She ended up banning Magdalena, and I ended up banning Carolyn. So I'm already at a deficit before we've ever played a game. So let's start here. So I'm choosing Eerie as my fighter game 1, thinking if I win game 1 with Eerie, I'll have Ehik versus either Luke, or I'm sorry, Ehik versus either Shek or Carolyn. I have a lot of respect for Ali as a player. I don't think I'm going to win game 1. So this will open up Ehik versus Shek, and then Carolyn versus Maggie. Either way, this is not a great. I really kind of screwed up on the band selection part. When I go into this match, Eerie versus Luke, the first thing that I'm thinking is that I want to create a game where I'm going to be sitting in Night Form Stabilize a lot with Soak 1, and using that Soak 1 to try to gain an advantage over time versus when he has his Eternal Beats. So I don't like Aurora very much, starting beat 1, just because he has so many start a beat advanced ones. So he has either like Chrono Drive, or he has really anything with Flash. I know that there's been a couple of like Bladaman, who's Ablan, has done his matrices, and he is convinced that Fusion Dodge is one of the best turn plays that Luke can make beat 1 in this game. I do not think that Ali's going to choose Fusion Dodge as her beat 1. For beat 1, and why I'm discarding these here, is I'm thinking beat 1 is either it's going to be Chrono Drive, possibly Chrono Flash. I doubt that. So like Chrono Drive, Fusion Flash, or Fainting Dodge. That is not fainting. That is fainting. So let's go here. Okay, so when I'm choosing my pair here, if I can get Galactic Stabilize, that's going to turn off any flash that doesn't have, or Galactic Night Stabilize, that's going to turn off any flash that doesn't also have a power anti. So I'm actually going to choose a pair. I'm thinking that she is going to Fainting Dodge. And I am going to clash this Fainting Dodge with something that I think will work out for me. I'm not too afraid of getting flashed. I don't want to get fusion flashed, but this is the choice I end up making here. So I go Night form, hopefully trying to say, hey, I'm going Galactic Night. If you have a flash that you are playing, you should anti-power.
Starlight change!
She does not. So I actually get the read right, and she goes Fainting Dodge, which I get to clash with Magical Starlight, anti-Night. And then we go here, and I think it's a pretty free burst unless I miss my guess. I have a lot of Stun Guard, so I'm really happy with how this beat turns out, because I know that I'm going to be okay here. Nothing that she really has is going to get past both my Stun Guard and Burst. So I end up winning this beat, and I'm feeling pretty good about my strategy in general at this point. Game? Are you kidding? Cool. I guess I will restart my replay. Oh, that sucks. What is going on here? Hello. Well, that's cool. How about that? Yeah, you didn't like that, did you? Sorry, friendos. I will get this right back. Saki, fix it. Alright, hopefully this works. I'll just let it run right through.
The stars are right! It's time to fight!
You still have some training to do to keep up with me. To the fight!
Starlight change!
Are you kidding me? Well, I guess I do not get to review this game after all. Man, that sucks. Alright. Well. Cool game. Huh. Alright, let me try one other thing. Alright. Give me a few minutes. I think I have a solution. I will be right back. Let me put on the screen timer. Man, that's pretty frustrating. Let's just do... It probably won't be 5 minutes, but I'm just going to put 5 minutes on the timer. 1 moment. Okay. This will have to work. It's not great, but say lovey. And then I'll be able to go back to it for game 2. So here we are, beat 1. This will be a little bit in real time, so it won't be quite as good. I'm just looking through, and I like all of the options here that I have for burst. Getting to clash the dodge and having the stun guard from night form feels pretty good for me. So I get to win this beat. Wish I had sound. Alright. So I get to retreat, yay. 3 damage. Alright, so let's go now 3 times. Okay. Advances here. So this is a setup that I'm worried about. Eternal Shot. Fusion plays, like Chrono Strike, kind of. I want something that is going to put some pressure on her. And I have some options. Like, my concern really is I don't want this matchup, which is Comet versus Eternal. Comet has to do damage in order to do this push. I want to keep it ranged. Luckily for me, Flash is down. Dodge is not relevant here because she doesn't want to be at range. There are some like really awkward things that could happen here, so I want to make sure that I take these into account. Stuff like Memento Drive. I don't think that Memento Drive is a thing that Allie's really ever going to choose here, but things like Fusion Drive, Eternal Shot, possibly Chrono Strike, maybe even Chrono Burst. I doubt that. The problem is that obviously she's going to get a lot more powerful the more time she has. So I think she's going to choose something that doesn't use all of her time and still has a high chance of winning. So I think I end up choosing something that isn't like a lot of damage, but I definitely get a hit. And let's see here. Aurora's kind of risky in case she does choose like a fusion or a chrono something, but I don't like my pair here. I think I should have chosen Aurora something. Um, for some reason, I had it in my head because it was a thing that I was thinking about previously that Galactic Shot was going to clash Eternal Shot, and that's not true. It's actually Galactic Burst that I need to do that. Um, so unfortunately, this did not happen the way I wanted it. I mean, this is fine. It's not bad, but I definitely have better options here. I think I should have antied power. Yeah. So this isn't that bad. I wish I had antied power to get some more of her time. I thought this would clash. Definitely did not. But I do get the soak one, so I'm still ahead at the moment, 18 to 17. But I did not do enough there. I think I want to have to run her out of time for her eternal beats. All right, so here we're getting like this is another okay beat for me. I think because she can't dodge to get free time, and Eternal's down. I think I end up doing something absolutely bad shit, but we'll see. Uh, so Chrono, no. I'm still a little worried about Like fusion drive. I don't think she's going to anti-time. I think this is just kind of a downbeat a little bit for her. The problem here is that two of my styles are just bad. So Aurora and Astral, neither of them are dealing a whole bunch of damage if she just kind of does nothing by like dodging in or coming in with either Chrono or Dodge. So that really leaves Comet and Switch. Let's see here. This might be a beat where I think this is the next beat. I think this is fine. If she does dodge in, okay. This I don't love quite as much. This is okay. I definitely should be anting power. I really hope I do that. Okay, perfect. I'm very happy to see this anytime you anti-knight. In retrospect, I don't think this is super necessary, but maybe it was because I was out of range. Yeah. So if I had Aurora, for instance, this would beat Aurora pretty hard. Though I'm not punishing here with 2 damage on an Astro that doesn't get hit. So I really think that I should have literally been looking at switch options or Comet options. Comet options would have been good, but I'm not. I'm not really sure. Like a Comet drive, that's tough. The problem is if I Comet drive or anything similar, she just advances in, and I have to move past her, and I don't get the range that I want. So I really think I maybe should have switched, used switch as a style last turn, and just dealt with that. Okay, so here, um, she has both dodge. She has both dodge and flashes options up again. Uh, she has memento, so it could be memento drive. It could be memento burst. I don't super think that she's gonna memento burst. Um, we have like some faintings. I was particularly worried about like fainting drive. Um, I don't really see fainting burst as being a thing that she's gonna do. I actually think she's gonna dodge. So this is me thinking, okay, I've actually done. I'm gonna pause this for a sec. I've actually done okay so far, which is surprising because I did not expect to be doing very very well against Allie's Luke. And my thought here is, based on some of the meta conversation, that she is probably dodging, and if she isn't, I want something that's going to be that has some stun guard. If she wants to do any kind of flash play, I want to be in range, and I will have um, Night Form stabilized, so she'll have to anti-power if she wants to flash. Which, when with these force differentials, like I kind of, if that's going to happen, I want it to happen, and have her spend resources on it. So I'm thinking this might be Fusion Flash. This might be, but I think it's a dodge. And if so, she didn't do the Fusion dodge previously. Fusion and um, fainting both have some value. I don't like my opportunities to really get to deal with fainting, so I end up choosing this, I believe, specifically to cash or to catch memento dodge, possibly fusion dodge. Um, and I think this is fine. I believe that she just dodges the speed and um, nothing really happens. But my thought process there will show up again later, and I'll make a mistake that will be pretty costly. Yep. I didn't like any of my options to try to clash a fainting dodge. So, alright. Now we have 4 time, and oh look, Eternal's on rotation. Uh, pull up her hand, please, old me. Alright. So, Eternal is up. Uh, I'm thinking this is a few different options. It's either Memento Drive. I don't think that this is going to be like an anti-time advance flash. This could be a fusion flash anti-time. That could be the case. I don't really see that. Um, I really just think this is going to be Eternal Drive, Eternal Shot, um, Memento Drive, and I want something that's going to try to give me value to get those counters out. My thought being is if I lose Eternal beats, but like gain a little bit of value on the other beats, that I should end up okay. Please don't choose that, me. She has 4 counters. It is Soak 1, Stun Guard 2 if she does Eternal Shot. And this is me just thinking about if I'm willing to go out of Night Form Stabilize or not. I think this ends up being the thing that gets me interested in this, because anti-time this is pretty solid. Um, and this is going to give me +3 power if I choose it. So first thing I want to do is I'm just going to go for the cosmic thing. If we do clash, then I'm going to try to get next to her to get the cosmic stabilize with like a dodge or something like that. But in the end, I just have to get rid of some of these time counters. Yep. And that's what I get to do. So I think she gets anti, so it would be 4. She gets anti 4 time tokens. I really wish that I had spent the +1 power here um, to make her anti 1 more, or to stun her out, I believe. If I had thought of that, I think that. Let me just make sure of that. Did I do that right? So 6. She has 4 time tokens, gets soak 5, so 1 damage gets through. No, so I could not stun her out regardless. And I think that this is okay. This is fairly acceptable. Um, Alright, so now she has no time tokens. I will say that her snap picking pairs does psychological damage to me. Um, let's see. Alright, I am in cosmic form, and I'm actually a little bit worried here. She has a lot of good options that don't require time, and I don't. So this is what I'm thinking is very, very possible. Her good options, I really think this is like her best option. Fusion Drive is also good, uh, and it's really between those. So Chrono Flash seems good. Fusion Drive seems good. Um, I don't think she would play Fusion Burst, but I can't. I don't think I can beat Chrono Flash. Um, so I'm gonna try to dodge into a better position. Yep. One thing that came up that I was kind of thought was weird was her not anteing power. I have Galactic. Yeah, so I have Galactic up and Knight, and this is kind of the thing I was thinking about, and this is kind of where I sacked myself out. Because originally I was thinking, hey, this is Galactic Shot, right? If this is Chrono Flash, I can get the Knight form stabilized. This is what I was thinking on B2. So I'm surprised that she did an anti-power to get through that. It's also fine versus a Fusion Drive. So I think I talked myself out of it, but I really wish that this was Galactic Shot instead, or even Galactic Drive, um, Anti Knight. And that's a mistake on my part. And in some of the irony, I liked just choosing Switch to get kind of my force back because I feel like that's going to be important later. I don't believe it will be. Um, Here I am. I'm thinking that she dodges, and I don't think that I have a lot of great options to prevent that. It could be Fusion Drive. It could, I don't. It could be like Fainting Drive. I don't really think that those are things that are very, very likely. I choose Comet Drive here. That way, if she dodges, I can kind of really set myself up. And the problem with this is I didn't think about where she would dodge to. So if I'm convinced that she's driving or she's dodging, then I did not realize that I did not think it all the way through that she's going to come into the corner. So Vladimir, you're correct. This should be a Comet Burst, 100%. I only chose Comet Drive to position myself well for the post dodge, and Comet Drive does not do that while Comet Burst does. I would be a little loath. Yeah. Uh, sure. let's see here. Let's choose yeah. Man, if I had done a different thing. Anyway. And this is bad because I didn't realize that this was going to happen. I just didn't think it through. And I thought that I would like dodge, drive past her, and then comet out away. And now I'm stuck in the corner. And oh look, this is up. Now this beat, sure, but I mean, okay, this doesn't beat any regular dodge, so um, but Comet Burst is just a little better here. Luckily, I do have Comet up here, so this is a little interesting. She has Eternal, and I'm thinking she's probably playing Eternal on rotation, but I don't actually think that's true. I'm concerned, however, about just absolutely getting annihilated by something like Memento Strike. Um, so I want to choose something that I can't beat all of her options. Um, so I'm just gonna try to beat one of them really hard. Um, if this is something like Fusion Grasp, I'm getting it crushed. Um, but I can't beat everything, so I'm just gonna try to beat something really, really hard. Uh, so this will be like Memento Strike if I do that. Um, and I think this ends up being, unless I'm mistaken, something like Galactic Strike Anti-Cosmic, Anti-Power. Like I just full on. I'm like, nope, let's commit. And like this is a terrible play in general. I think. Not being able to fast forward is awkward. Let's see if I can go any faster. Any faster? Okay. So yeah, I do choose Galactic Strike. Cool. Yep. And I'm happy to see that instead of like one of these. I really feel like I want an anti-power, but I feel like maybe I should just pass because right now I'm gonna be beating anything or clashing anything Prio 6 and beating any um and still, so right now I'm going to clash the thing I was worried about, which was Fusion Grasp. Whereas by anting this power, I give her the option to anti time, and I'm not sure that's great. But I win this beat pretty handily. Hmm. Okay. So now I have to worry about a finisher. And unfortunately, we are now in Eternal territory. I hate all of my options here. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Do I ever look at her hand? Alright, so I choose Astral Burst. It doesn't end up super mattering. This is the kind of thing that I'm real bad at, realizing, oh, she's going to retreat one. Alright. No, Eternal Shot was not down. That was the mix-up, right? I was thinking if this was The last turn was either Eternal Shot or it was Fusion Grasp. Fusion Drive, I guess, is okay if she thinks I'm going to burst that beat. But I decided that I probably can't beat Fusion Grasp anti-time to get +1 prio. So Galactic Strike anti-cosmic clashes Galactic Grasp or Fusion Grasp, and then I can stun Eternal out if it's Eternal Shot, I think, but not if it's Eternal Shot, not anti-stun guard. I can stun that out. If it's Eternal Strike, well, I'm just gonna get annihilated. But yeah, that is also true. I just should have just left in Cosmic here, and I didn't last beat for no reason. Other than thinking, hey, I want to be like my plan is still I'm going to sit in soak in the soak thing. So this was just like my strategy is bad. And here, what I'm thinking is that I actually want to try to set up Galaxy Spear. Um, my thought here is that if this is Eternal, I really need to get her to spend some tokens. And I don't really have an option. You know, when it's beat 10 and I look for it, I don't like this pair very much that I've done. Like, I'm not sure how many options I have, but fast forward a little bit. Lots of stuff goes on. Yay! Yeah, and this is finally Eternal Shot, and I get to at least get a lot of her tokens down and get out to range. And that makes me happy to see that, but obviously I am losing this trade by, a million. Alright, so in the interest of time, let's speed up. Okay. Um, so now I have Galaxy Spear. I'm pretty sure this is a dodge, and man, do I screw this up, because I think I have a really good shot if I don't mess this up, and I definitely do. So my thought here is I want to Comet dodge, and I should anti um, Knight, but uh, I want like when I do this, I want to have it be Magical Spear. So I'm thinking, hey, I'll just do it now. The problem here is now I have to move first. If this is just Comet Dodge, Anti Knight, I set myself up perfectly to have the option to like Galaxy Spear, because if she has to move somewhere, like I have, this is a thing that I can set up. And I think she just regular dodges, maybe fainting dodges. I'm not sure, or can't fainting dodge, but this is just some sort of dodge. And I screw up real bad. I'm anti-magical, thinking, hey, I'll just preemptively anti it. That's terrible. I should be anti-ing Knight right here, and I definitely do not. Yep, anti-Knight would have been perfect. Where are you going, Luke? And then I get to go completely somewhere else. Like Luke would probably have to take middle. Um, yeah, which is smart. And so here I'm thinking, well, now they have everything up that they'll be able to do next turn. So instead, I decide, hey, I'm going to threaten Galactic Cosmic. And this ends up being a really poor choice. Because I'm not going to be able to finish her here, realistically, next turn. but maybe I could have. I'll get to yeah. So I mean, I could. I think I should have just stayed here and. But she'll have like the easy answer with either Chrono Flash or something along those lines. So I get next thinking, hey, I'm going to threaten like cosmic or galactic anti-cosmic something, and I really just think I get punished a fair amount. So I'm going to keep going. All right. This is just bad. Um, I am right now in my own head about screwing up anti-magical last turn, and I am not thinking this through as much as I need to. So I am like somehow just forgetting that I am at 5 life, which seems absurd, but there it is. So I end up choosing a pair that just is just terrible across the board. Um, as I'm just in my own head beating myself up about anti-magical, which I don't even think matters very much. Uh, I think my pair is fine for me, but I think my pair just loses the game against what it loses. You know, like there are pairs that I could beat this pair that I lose to, um, and like I have options that don't lose the game on this beat, and I do not choose one of them. Is I think my issue. I'm also thinking that once again that I'm in night, right? That if I'm in night, I have soak one, but of course I don't because I didn't anti night. Like I really screwed up my plans last beat by anti magical instead of night. And like here I am knowing it, but like I'm thinking I have soak one. I definitely do not. And I just get annihilated. No soak one. I just get thrown into the corner, lose life, and take 3. Yay me. Uh, and yeah, so that's the end of that game there. I will. I'm going to take a quick AFK, and then I will come back. And I have a lot I want to talk about. I'm going to use the second game to talk about some concepts in general that I really want to discuss. Um, but I'm going to take a short AFK, and I will be right back. So I'm going to go with 6 minutes here, and let's change this to this, and this. All right, friendos, I'll be right back. Alright. Alright, friendos. Here we are back. And this game is a little different. This game is not particularly interesting, as has been pointed out. But this is actually the game I'm most interested in talking about, just because of some generalities. And I want to just talk. I'm going to let this get to where they're like beat one, and talk about a whole bunch of almost meta things here. All right. So
will secure my place in this world.
Say your okay. You're not going to say your thing. Perfect. So I want to talk about some meta stuff. So the first thing I want to talk about is how much I look up to Ali. There are a couple people who are I feel similar in skill nearby, like Rose and Ash in particular, and both of them have gotten a lot of help from Ali since they've been playing along with myself. So Ali has always been a mentor to me and a mentor to the people who I feel closest in skill level to. So I am very nervous about playing Ali here. And some of the things that I think about Ali are like, she chooses the safe pair. Like, this is conversations that have happened on the Discord. She does a lot of calculations, etc. And it is worth noting that I think that there is a issue that is worth mentioning here, which is I actually think that the way Ali and Blattum approach BattleCon is probably a little bit more similar than they might think, but it's also something that, just due to my situation, that I don't think is a very solid option for me. I do not have a lot of time to play BattleCon itself. Just due to work and some of my other responsibilities in real life, sitting down and playing a game of BattleCon and focusing on just that is a little bit difficult for me outside of some very specific time arenas. So I don't have the opportunity to practice and bring up my, let's just call it general BattleCon play, to a level where I feel like I can compete on that. Like, if we're looking at like an RPG, like my calculation BattleCon skill is a 5, and these people are 8s and 9s and 10s. So I don't think I can win games of regular, what I call, like, air quotes, regular BattleCon. I'm not going to be able to out-calculate them. I'm not going to be able to have the long history of experience to help me get to the right play. I don't think that's a plane that makes sense for me to battle on and try to be competitive. And I do want to be competitive, but I don't have I'm not willing to invest the amount of time that I would normally, when I was younger, be able to do so. So, knowing all of that, I try to go for something that is more reads. And I don't think that reads are necessarily the best way to play BattleCon. I think they are a way to play BattleCon. But this is a thing that I don't think a lot of other people outside of a select few really try to focus on. So there's a niche there that maybe I can spend what little time I have to try to tune and to try to get there. And one of these things that comes up is, in a previous conversation with Ali, she had mentioned that when she plays BattleCon, she tries to play like a robot. And I had made a joke at the time that I realized in retrospect was actually pretty true, which is, I guess I'm the only person who plays BattleCon in a whirlwind of emotion. And I think that that's part of because in order to, like, totally be open to try to understand the player behind it, this is all going to sound a little bit ephemeral, a little bit ethereal, but to try to understand my opponent, I have to be really open and receptive to what I think my opponent is doing. And that might be things like, how long are they taking before they lock in pairs? What are they doing? Have I seen them play? Like, to try to read them, I really need to try to understand what goes through their head when they play BattleCon. And the thing that I have pegged on Ali is, Ali's going to choose the safe play. Ali is not going to choose a few things. Coupled with that is, I have struggled against Schecter in particular, because all of the games that I have played against Schecter have been me terrified of Brand. I play in a way that plays around Brand every single beat, even if it's not their best option. And that's why this game is so tough for me. When I had done the replay review with Blattum, I had mentioned, as a joke during that stream, Ali is not allowed to read, because I don't think I can ever beat an Ali that makes a read, because it's going to blow me out, and I'm not going to be able to recover, and
Think you can keep up?
that's what
Let's
happens
see.
here. I lose this game right here, and it may not look that way on the game, but all of a sudden,
This should work nicely.
I am in very large trouble. So standard discards here. I am thinking that her options are either like something like like Reaver Burst, maybe Unleashed Shot, Jugular Shot. These are the things that I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking that she's... Oh, let me just take a look. Alright, I'm not thinking that she's going to do something like, let's say, Spiral Drive. I don't think that's likely. I don't think that she's going to Jugular Brand. That seems pretty unsafe for the alley that I have in my head. So really, I think it's like Reaver Burst, Unleashed Shot, Jugular Shot. I anti-water in case like we do a clash chain or something, and this is like maybe a Reaver. If this is like a Reaver Burst, maybe I can still get in range. But as we'll see here, I end up choosing Primordial Shot because this doesn't get beat by the things that I think beat Primordial Burst, which is what my normal favorite play would be here. I also chose to anti-water, thinking that maybe she would anti differently, thinking that maybe that I had chosen to do some crazy Ultimate Chaos start. But I get blown out here in a way. She plays a thing that I did not ever think Ali would play, and now I am in full-on panic mode because I'm under the impression that everything I know about Ali's play is wrong, and I have to try to build a new mental model of Ali, and I have like 6 minutes to do so. So this it's not even like this tilted me. This threw me into full-on despair. I never really
Better
recovered
watch out.
from this ever. Like, I had chosen to play. Like, I am not going to play Scared of Bran. I don't think that Ali's really ever going to choose Jugular Brand B1, so I'm going to play a thing, and I really like my pair, knowing what I knew about Ali at the time. And then when she does this, like, I'm really just looking at everything I know is wrong. I'm terrible at BattleCON. I can't even do the thing that I thought I could do, which is try to read people. Like, this is like instant depression. Like, keep firearms away from me.
We're not so different, you and I.
Alright. Here, I am thinking, like, I want to, like, do a Dark Raging thing, but I don't think I can. She has 1 million here. I'm thinking that this is a combination something, or it is, like, Reaver Burst. I don't think, like, Unleashed Strike seems unlikely. This could be a dodge. I don't think it is, though. I think I might dodge. No, I think it might be next beat. And I just get annihilated.
There.
Better watch out.
Yeah, and I'm almost just checked out at this point. I think this is probably a dodge. But I think my guess is that I'm choosing an Unleash, an Ultimate Chaos dodge here. looks like I'm thinking this is probably combination shot, combination grasp, combination strike. Yep. And I'm pretty happy with this, right? I get to get rid of some like this. This ends up okay for me. Get 3 malice. Like the plan was to dodge the whole time.
This might stink.
Unfortunately, now she's in a position where I can't really stop her dodge very well.
This should work nicely.
I don't really know what's going on here. This is almost certainly a unleashed something if she's spending that. So maybe unleash dodge. Or I think it's maybe like jugular shot. And instead I get blown out by the same pair. Oh, this game's over for me at this point. I think in the replay, I'm like almost ready to concede right here.
Better watch out. There.
Like this game is over for me. Like try to decide I'm not going to play around Brand as much as I have in the past, and then lose a game by getting blown out by Brand on rotation. It's just like everything I know about BattleCon is wrong. All of it.
No way I'm gonna lose with this.
Yep. Fine, I love you.
Better watch out.
Okay. So here's actually the beat that I want to talk about, because like this is a hands down concede because I'm just so tilted. So I have 9 force. This is 7. I've got wind, and I've got enough force to do prio. So I can get 7, 8, 9, 10 winds prioritize. Okay, so her fastest pair, she did not hit me last turn, is going to be something like this, which is 10, 11, 12. So let's do 5, 10, 11, 12. And I can be at 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm worried about this. This would be 4, 5, so 9, 10, 11. So I probably am thinking like she's going to try to play around this. I think her pair does, unless I'm mistaken.
At the speed of darkness.
You can't get away from me. More power.
By the power of violence.
And I get blown out.
I guess this evil victory is.
And I just concede.
Now for the loot.
But that's what I wanted to talk about, I guess, for this game in particular, which isn't particularly interesting, right? 6 beats. Woo! Got crushed. This game was more... Well, this game I feel like it definitely lost on beat 1, when I felt like I had a plan that was okay, that I was going to do a thing, that I was going to correct some of my mistakes, and instead I just found out that like everything I knew about how Ali was going to play was incorrect, and it just threw me spiraling. So anyway, that is all I have there. Thank you very much for you guys coming out. I don't know if Vladimir and I will do a replay review at some point. That's if we can find a good replay, I think was how that worked out. But if so, I will make sure I post that. I just know that I wanted to talk about some of the things, in particular about Game 2 and my mindset there, and some of the problems with not having the amount of time to really invest in playing BattleCon the way I think BattleCon should be optimally played. Where it's just really hard to choose to try to do things like that. To say, hey, I'm going to try to beat these people on a plane that they're objectively better at me than right now. And I don't have the time to practice to bring my skill up to that point. And that's why I think I have to choose a different tack, which I know some people will disagree with, but I just strongly feel, unless I have the amount of time to really start playing BattleCon in a way that I can practice those things, that it's a tough sell to say, hey, you're going to beat some of the best players in the game on the same plane with less experience and practice. That just doesn't seem super realistic to me, because I know that those people don't slack off. So